This is my end of semester presentation. I'm going to walk you through my semester with Jay Wagner Group, and I felt like it was right to use CapCut for this presentation because this is what I used to edit a lot of content this semester, and then I'm going to be answering the questions required at the end. So our first event was World Fest. Here's some photos I took, very random because we were very busy, but here's some setup, and then here's some photos of one of the parks that we designed. So it was kind of a dead period after that, so we made content. And then moving on, we had Bourbon Festival in Bardstown, and we just did the activation for Jim Beam here. Moving on, we had Bourbon and Beyond. We had a 5K that weekend, so I had to do a lot of pickups and even more pickups for signage at the actual Bourbon and Beyond event. Here's some fun I had with some other interns in a photo booth, and I got to see some of my favorite bands, The War on Drugs and Tyler Childers. Here's the very end of Bourbon and Beyond, and after that we had the after party, which was really cool to meet some of the artists and other promoters. Moving on, we had Louder Than Life. I had to learn to go up to strangers and not be embarrassed to ask them if they wanted to be in content for certain brands. So I definitely got over a fear of social anxiety on that. Moving on, here's some content I made for Jim Beam, highlighting some of their activations at Louder Than Life. This is seriously awesome activation. This got reposted on their socials, and then we started working on Salsaritas content, and I did some rebranding for their Instagram. Now, after fall break, we had our Smoke and Oak event with Jim Beam at the Knob Creek House at the distillery. This event was beautiful. So Jim Beam is one of our top clients that we work with the most. I learned how to design a tablescape here, which was really cool. And this was just a super intimate event with some of Jim Beam's clients and friends and family. Seriously awesome. We got to try so many different foods, and I made some content for their Instagrams and our personal Instagram, kind of just highlighting what we do at Jay Wagner Group when it comes to event planning and design. And this was just a beautiful evening. The drinks were awesome. The food was great. The weather was amazing. And then the following week, we kind of moved into the USA Women's Soccer event. I didn't have a lot of involvement in that, but I did some of the load-in. Then we had another 5K. This was a 5K at Bowman Field, and this was an early morning. We were there at 5:30 in the morning, and then we got to leave at noon. But we did some content creation with Powerade because they sponsor some of our events, and then we just did some physical labor here, like setting up the trust, these bike racks that have our sponsors on it, things like that. And then we had about a week off, and we got into more holiday content for Suntan City. Now that Thanksgiving has passed, we moved into Light Up Louisville content, and I got to hang out with WLKY, the Courier Journal, WDRB, and doing some news media coverage for the delivery of the tree for Jefferson Square Park. Right after that, we had Jack Harlow's Louisville Orchestra after party. This was at the Fraser History Museum. And then moving into our last event that I just did over the weekend, this was Light Up Louisville. So we have a contract with the city, and we do all of Louisville's big events, and Light Up Louisville has to be one of them. We did a drone show, video mapping, 40 plus vendors. It was a beautiful night. This was a very long weekend, a very cold weekend, but it was awesome to be a part of the city. And then here's just some photos from the rest of the semester. That was the press conference for the tree delivery and Thanksgiving. And then here are just some photos that I have sprinkled in as well from the Louisville Orchestra after party and Light Up Louisville. Seriously, a great experience. Now let's get into these questions. So if it's not clear already, there was a mix of job responsibilities between creating content, doing physical labor, vendor relations, and talking to clients, photo shoots, brand shoots, things like that. One of the main things that I did, and this kind of was based off of like what my niche was and is, if I should say that. One of my main things is I love content creation and brand concept and event design. So those are the things that I had a lot of involvement with over the past semester. My boss saw that I had a interest for these, and these were my strengths. So I got handed a lot of responsibility with managing clients' Instagram accounts, TikToks, things like that. And then when it came to event design, if there was an event that already did not have a concept for, I would be involved in on those meetings, and I would be able to share my input and give my ideas. And I think I mentioned that in the Smoke and Oak event that I got to help design the tablescape, which is when it comes to certain clients and we have an event, they already have certain things provided. So like Jim Beam has like their bars provided, their glassware, things like that. So it was really up to us to design the tent. So I got to help out with that, which was really cool just to see that come to life. When we were at the office, it's just we usually have like an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long meeting, depends on like what we're talking about. But we'll be in the meetings and we'll do little tasks after that, if that's going out and making more content for brands, if it's organizing, making copies for our bosses, things like that, of that nature. And then at different events, it would be physical labor, so like unloading vans, packing up the vans that we would rent, and doing like assembling certain things. So one thing that I've learned to do really fast over the semester was set up step and repeats, which is the background of a red carpet. We have those at a lot of our events, most of our events, and for some reason the other interns, they kind of just like strayed away from it, but I learned how to do it. So I would usually get handed the task to set up the step and repeat, little things like that. And just making sure things would go okay at a certain events, working with the people that attended, making sure that they're taken care of. At like Bourbon and Beyond, since the physical was over, so setting up the tent was over, it was just making sure that the people that were attending our event at Bourbon and Beyond, they were taken care of. Things looked nice, the bar was replenished, and the certain snacks were replenished. So this job requires an immense amount of interpersonal communication. An event agency would be nothing without communication. It's extremely, extremely, extremely important to communicate with your peers and your bosses on everything, literally everything. Like everything can run completely smooth, but if someone didn't communicate one little thing, it's like a domino effect and everyone's out of the loop. And that's one thing that I've learned, is that I cannot be afraid to sound annoying or persistent. It's so important to communicate every detail that has happened during an event, during a conversation. Just in general, communication is huge for being an event planner. And one of the main interpersonal skills that I've used, I would absolutely, absolutely, absolutely recommend this internship to students wanting to pursue the event industry in general. I did not know what I really wanted to do straight away going into this position. I knew I wanted to be working in social media, maybe graphic design, product development, and events was always kind of in the back of my head as a child. Like being a wedding planner, I've always thought about that, and I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I knew this internship would give me experience in all of those areas. But as the semester went on, I slowly realized that it's 50-50, like managing brand accounts and event planning. And I would strongly, strongly, strongly recommend to pursue this internship if you are wanting to go down the event route. Because yes, we do brand management, but it is a very small amount. And when you are at these events like Light Up Louisville and World Fest and Bourbon and Beyond, all of the brand management and the social media like goes at your head. Besides what you're required to post at those events, you're not thinking about anything else but that event. It kind of is the overarching job, and the kind of work you're going to be doing at this internship. And I'm very lucky that that's the way the cookie crumbled, because I have completely answered the question for myself, like what I wanted to do when I get older and what I want to do after college. This has given me so much, like, it's given me so much understanding of myself, and it's taught me how to multitask. It's taught me, the biggest thing I think it's taught me is that I can do anything I set my mind to. I came into this internship underqualified and not knowing what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to work with these people and I knew I wanted to work with these clients. And I would show up every day acting like I've worked in this industry for 15 years. And it's taught me to show up as the person I want to be. And I would strongly recommend this internship for anyone wanting to pursue the event route. I will say it requires an immense amount of time and a lot of effort and a lot of patience. You will be working on events where you're going to get there at 9 in the morning and you're not going to leave till 2 a.m. My exit interview evaluation went really, really well with my boss. There was very little negative to be said. The only feedback that he gave me in areas that I can improve was don't be afraid to mess up and don't be afraid to ask questions. So yeah, that is my semester of J. Wagner Group. It has been so long, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for this team, and I'm so lucky to have been able to work for them. Thank you for watching this presentation, and have a happy holiday. Thank you.